Hi everybody, my name is Matt Kloskowski with KelbyTraining.com, and I want to welcome you to a class that's all about Camera Raw. Folks, Camera Raw is where the future of photography and Photoshop is really going. So you need to sit down and you need to get your mind around using Camera Raw, because that's where we're going to start. Okay, we're going to start inside of Camera Raw, whether you shoot in RAW or JPEG, and we'll use white balance. We'll learn how to white balance and get the color correct in our photos. We'll learn how to do our toning to get the exposure and the shadows and the highlights. No longer do we have to go into Photoshop and use 5 layers and blend modes and curves and levels to do all these things. That's not the future, that's the past. Camera Raw is the future, and using it is so much easier. We'll cover things like using the adjustment brush so that you can go in and you can do your dodging and your burning and your sharpening and all these different things to just selected parts in your photo. We'll talk about cropping, we'll talk about adding vignettes, the whole 9 yards we're going to cover inside of this course. I think in the end, if you adopt a Camera Raw workflow, you're going to do 2 things for your photography. One, you're going to spend less time on the computer. Okay, you're going to get into Camera Raw and you're going to realize there's so many things that you can do in there. It's so powerful at making your photos look the way that you envisioned, and you're going to find you move through working your photos a lot faster. The other thing you're going to do is I find it improves your photography, because you become so, in a way, addicted to using just Camera Raw. You don't want to go into Photoshop anymore, that you change your photography. If it's not something you can fix in Camera Raw, you start to rethink the way you're shooting so that you shoot in a way that you can fix everything in Camera Raw. You can do all the things that you need to do to your photos inside Camera Raw without having to get into Photoshop and use a whole bunch of layers. We got a lot of great stuff to cover. Let's go ahead and get started.